Hi there. If you'll pardon the wet hair, I thought I'd come and say hi. In all this time I've been away, I guess I've been away, figuratively. I've only written one journal, which I wrote 2 days ago, so I figure I'll share that with you, and we'll see how and where it goes from there. Let me get this big enough to read. Okay, so what is happening for you there where you are? For me, it feels so freaking strange to be both human and divine that in times I just have to laugh or cry. And the tears are generally born out of delight of some sort. So very strange this 3D ride is. I must be nuts to try to put any of it into words. Oh well, that's what this heart calls me to, so there is my joy. I delight in the ways people follow their joy, how very diverse, how wildly different they are, yet how well, even perfectly, they all seem to fit in together. Totally amazing. Have you noticed? Or are you still stuck in mind? At some point, it's my bet that we will all come out of mind sufficiently to discover how it is the problem maker, the suffering generator of our lives. Then what we do with that, well, it's up to us. But at least we have seen the reality behind the play, the grand drama, and that's good. As we awaken, we are seeing the old ways, the old structures of society go down. Some try to keep propping them up, but it's a lost cause. They've been crumbling away for some decades, but now they're really falling fast. How long will it take? Will there be a major crash, or will something come along to soften our transition into something better? Something higher frequency? Who knows? Does it matter? Really? Go within, enter the silence you find there, and have a look-see. Now, does it matter? Do you know who you are? Do you realize your worth, your sacredness? Do you truly know, deeply know you're divine? You are. But me or someone telling you that surely isn't enough. We all have to uncover it for ourselves. Mind has its ideas on what's important, on what matters in life. I have officially divorced myself from belief in what mind has to say. It is now back in tool mode, for that's what a mind is, a tool for a light being to use while pretending to be a human. Unlike what science appears to sincerely believe, our minds are not the arbiters of truth. We confused the idea of truth somewhere along the way with facts. If it was factual, as nearly as we could determine, well then it was true. Well, that's bunk, at least for me. If it's factual, then it's factual. That has precious little to do with truth. Truth is something beyond mind's ken, beyond 3D even. This is the realm of duality, not of truth. Yet, to those still living hugely from mind, which is still most of us, this doesn't make sense. It's too scary to look at full on. They have to take little sideways peeks at it, not being able to bear the full brunt of losing the validity of all they believe to be true all at once. And who could? Well, that's reasonable. I don't know who among us came into the full light of truth all at once. Maybe an Eckhart Tolle, I don't know. Nor do I see that any of us occupy consciously the full light of truth or anything even touching that. Truth itself is divine, but it takes stepping away from loyal belief in mind to see it. Now, as usual, I don't know who I am anymore. The change comes on so fast, it's all this body-mind can do to just keep up with it, much less pull ahead. On top of everything else, we're headed into a set of 3 eclipses, and those always herald deep change of one sort or another. Depends on how ready we are, how agile to welcome whatever change. Now, clearly, those in mind are not agile and ready. Why not? Well, mind lives in and is based on the past. That's what memory is. Those best equipped to flow with oncoming change are they who have found, if even only for a moment, emptiness. It is best to bring the empty cup to this banquet, my friends. It's found within. I found it's best to embrace change rather than fight it or run from it. Most of us have discovered that resistance is futile anyway. It's only born out of fear, and it's a really good idea to address our fears now, in the moment they appear. Those we stand, face, and even welcome turn out to be not the big boogeyman we thought they were. The fears are all creations of mind, believe it or not. Can you or will you make room for that? All suffering, all fear originates in mind and in confusion around identity. To identify with the body-mind instead of with the deeper, the far deeper divine reality is to be guaranteed a life filled with both suffering and fear. But that's just until we wake up from the nightmare, which is now within everyone's reach. We don't know what precisely will be the key to unlock everyone's awakening, but that's fine too. We're only in charge of the self, and if we'll just exit the head and enter the heart, well, that's a big enough territory to encompass all the rest anyway. Instead of self and now that I'm always proclaiming, it's more accurate to call it selfing and nowing. Somehow they are verbs, ever in flow, not static things, not nouns that can be pinned down. You, I, we are much more a process or a flow than any sort of object at all. We never were. You are also more the space than you are anything appearing as an object within it. Mind pretzels, huh? It turns out, for me anyway, that reality and truth are counterintuitive, but only to the mind. To heart, this is the world, the realm that makes good sense. I can easily see now why Jesus called it a kingdom, saying the kingdom is within you. Yep, I get at least some of what he meant. It's a whole new realm. Friends, I no longer believe we remain in 3D. My experience of things tells me we're morphing so fast that we've left 3D behind. Now remember, the Earth is coming along into the higher frequencies along with us, as far as I know. It is probably better said that we are coming along with her. So don't expect to leave Gaia behind. Don't think that just because you can still see her and see nature that it means you are only in 3D. Can we all let that belief go? Have fun with this, friends. It really is great fun once you walk through, once you see through your fears and take that stance to all fears as they come up. They are nothing to you. You are source. You are the divine robed in flesh. This is nothing to even touch with the mind, however. Mind only ruins such things when it takes them in and thinks that it knows what they mean. It is incapable of understanding such things, yet arrogant enough to be convinced otherwise. This is no fault of mind, however. It's just what minds do, seems to me. It's up to you to draw the line and to step over it, to cross over into your true identity as the divine. It's time to simply quit believing mind, and that's on you. Friends, there is nothing wrong, nor has there ever been. Now just have an internal look at how mind handles that idea, that there is nothing wrong. There is no way mind is going to accept even the possibility that that is the case, but you can. You can at least step beyond your mind long enough to evaluate the possibility, to open to the mere possibility that it's true, that it could be true. There is nothing wrong. Duality is gone if you're ready to leave it behind. Whenever you're ready, you can step up into the new perspective that leaves duality behind. Right and wrong, even as concepts, don't exist here. I'm telling you, it's a whole new land, quote unquote. It's really important, though, to leave mind out of it, and that's not so easily done. So, do watch out for mind's arrogance and its trickiness. Mind will tell you that it gets it, that it understands, when it's not even capable of doing so. Well, it's up to you to be alert for that, for you do know. It's up to you to know you're not mind. As long as we're identified with 3D, with the realm of duality, we'll be tripped up by mind. You can't help it. It's just what is. Got to shift our sense of identity first. Then the rest of this can follow along nicely. Otherwise, no go, at least from what I've seen. You can do this. Anything is possible. Let go of what everyone else seems to believe. Just ditch that whole thing. And if you're still watching TV, then you're being continually programmed. Now, that's your choice, of course. It's not the fault of the TV. You know how they say the boob is not the tube. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing at all. But if you want to even begin to truly get what's being said here, you won't be able to You know, I wrote this 2 days ago, and I don't want to restrict or limit anyone. It's just less likely that you'll be able to get it. So, no matter what choices you pick, do have some fun with them. Decide to love the self enough to follow your heart. Decide to live with integrity and honor, the way you define them, to please the real you, not society, not your spouse, not your kids, not anyone else. Quit giving yourself, giving your power away. Live life your way. Respect yourself enough to live like that. And you can't do it, you see, if you're just the mind, because the mind is attached to all this stuff here. You're not. Seriously, once you find your way into that interdimensional portal I've been calling capital H heart, you will find there such a deep respect for all life that you will know this respect cannot be anything else but divine. It's that special. You just feel it. You know it. It won't be like anything else you've ever felt. That's the way of it there within your heart kingdom. Your whole use of words will change. Now, you may still need to use the old words, like love, like respect, but it won't be with anything of the old meaning. It will be so much deeper that you'll just know that words can no longer contain your meanings. And yet, when you talk to others who have also found their way deep inside, you'll understand and you'll be understood. No need to stand under. It's shifting. It's shifted so much already as to be unrecognizable to me. Except that it looks the same. It's just insane. And it's so freaking strange. Largely due to so many not being awake to it yet. Still living more in mind than in heart. Let them believe what they will. Live what lives they choose. Only make your choices count. For you. Live your truth. That's all we need to do, and we'll watch the rest just take care of itself. Well, oh yes, it also takes knowing at least who you're not, if not who you are. You are not body, nor mind, nor anything that can be seen, touched, identified. That part is critical, for without it, how can heart exist for you? It's there, of course. It always has been. But what good is that to the prisoner with the key in pocket, but not knowing it's there? How helpful is that key? So, the potential is there, is now here for each and every one to choose. It's so very much a free will thing, though. To those who are waiting for some rescue, some savior, some government program or shift to take place, not so wise. Look to yourself. You are the only rescuer who can do you any good. To the rest of them, you're just giving away your power. Break with the past, friends. That literally means break with the mind. Find a way to let go of both past and future expectations alike. As we all find our way into that flow that is nowing, we'll wake up all the quicker for The only time a rescue can happen is now. The only time waking up can happen is also now. So, where are you? Ask yourself. Watch as you go through your day, seeing where you are at any point in it. Look how much mind turns to the future or is preoccupied with the past. In any of those moments, you're not present, you're not nowing, you're not here. Even if some rescue came, you'd miss it. This is a consciousness shift, friends, along with anything else it might be. So be in charge of shifting your own consciousness. You can always start with your beliefs, since after all, they're yours and you're totally in charge of them. Take responsibility for what's growing there in your garden of belief. Pull some weeds. Take ownership of your life. Life is majestic. It is magical. It is beautiful. It is glorious. Find your divine vision, your heart vision there within. Be aware of self as the turtle carrying home right along. It's there with you wherever you go. You can't get away from it. You are self-contained, self-sufficient. You are source. Step into that. It's your choice. Namaste. Hi there. If you'll pardon the wet hair, I thought I'd come and say hi. In all this time I've been away, I guess I've been away, figuratively. I've only written one journal and divine that in times I just have to laugh or cry. And the tears are generally born out of delight of some sort. So very strange this 3D ride is. I must be nuts to try to put any of it into words. Oh well, that's what this heart calls me to, so there is my joy. A delight, which I wrote 2 days ago, so I figure I'll share that with you, and we'll see how and where it goes from there. Let me get this big enough to read. Okay, so what is happening for you there where you are? For me, it feels so freaking strange to be both human. Discover how it is the problem maker, the suffering generator of our lives. Then what we do with that, well, it's up to us. But at least we have seen the reality behind the play, the grand drama, and that's good. As we awaken, we are seeing the old ways, the old structures of society go down in the ways people follow their joy, how very diverse, how wildly different they are, yet how well, even perfectly, they all seem to fit in together. Totally amazing. Have you noticed? Or are you still stuck in mind? At some point, it's my bet that we will all come out of mind sufficiently to